You lie comfortably, your breathing slows, and your eyes grow heavy. The weight of the day begins to fade, and you feel yourself gently drifting, as if carried on a soft breeze. Slowly, a doorway of time opens before you, and you step through it into another world. The air feels different, cooler, filled with the faint scent of wood smoke and fresh earth. You hear the distant sound of bells echoing through the hills, calling villagers to the end of their day. A medieval world surrounds you, alive and real, as if history has opened its pages for you to walk inside. Ahead, you see rolling green fields, dotted with small cottages built of wood and stone. Smoke rises gently from their chimneys, curling upward into the golden twilight. Children laugh and run along dirt paths, their wooden toys clattering as they play. Farmers finish their work in the fields, leading oxen and horses back to wooden barns. Life here is simple, yet full of rhythm, guided by the rising and setting of the sun. You follow a winding path into the heart of the village. The homes are clustered close together, their thatched roofs warm with the glow of firelight inside. You catch the scent of bread baking, the sweet aroma of honey mead, and the earthy smell of hay and livestock. Villagers greet one another with quiet smiles, their lives woven together by community and tradition. A central square opens before you. A market is just closing for the evening. Wooden stalls stand half empty, baskets of apples and bundles of herbs waiting to be taken home. A minstrel packs away a lute, the last echoes of his music lingering in the air like a gentle memory. The flicker of torches begins to light the square as dusk deepens. As you walk further, you hear the clatter of hooves on cobblestone. A rider passes by, wearing a simple tunic and carrying messages bound for the local lord's castle. His horse snorts in the cool air, and you feel the rhythm of another era beating all around you. You pause for a moment, breathing in the atmosphere of this place. The world feels safe, quiet, timeless. You are no longer in the modern age. You are a traveler of dreams, walking through the Middle Ages, free to explore, to listen, and to feel the pulse of history. As the sky deepens into night, you look beyond the village to the silhouette of a castle rising on a hill. Its towers stretch upward like guardians of another world, and you feel a pull to journey there. In the next chapter, you will approach its gates, step inside its walls, and discover the life of knights, nobles, and the heart of medieval power. You follow the winding path that leads from the village toward the distant castle. The road rises gently, lined with tall oaks whose branches sway in the evening breeze. Torches flicker along the way, guiding travelers toward the fortress. With every step, you feel yourself drifting deeper into this medieval world, as though the castle itself is drawing you closer. The silhouette grows larger until the stone walls tower above you, ancient and powerful. You can see the battlements lined with guards, their armor glinting faintly in the torchlight. The great wooden gate creaks open slowly, pulled upward by chains, and you step across the drawbridge. Beneath you, water shimmers in the moat, reflecting the flames of torches in rippling patterns. Inside the courtyard, life is bustling. Blacksmiths hammer iron, sparks flying as they shape horseshoes and blades. Stable boys lead horses to drink, their coats gleaming in the firelight. A group of squires practices with wooden swords, their laughter and shouts echoing between the high stone walls. The smell of smoke, leather, and roasted meat fills the air, grounding you in this vivid moment. You walk further into the great hall of the castle. The doors are massive, carved with symbols of lions and eagles. As they open, warmth spills outward, torchlight dancing across long wooden tables, banners of the Lord's crest hanging proudly from the ceiling. Minstrels play soft melodies on lutes and flutes, their notes weaving through the air like threads of history. At the far end of the hall sits the high table, where nobles dine. Their goblets shimmer with wine, their plates piled high with roasted meats, bread, and fruits from the land. You take a seat among them, invisible yet present, a dream traveler welcomed into their world. The laughter of knights, the soft conversations of ladies in elegant gowns, the clatter of plates and mugs, All of it surrounds you in a rhythm both lively and comforting. The walls of the great hall are lined with tapestries. You study them. Scenes of great battles, kings and queens, knights on horseback charging across green fields. Each thread tells a story, preserved in color and cloth, as if the past is alive and watching over this feast. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the crackle of the great fireplace, the strum of the minstrel's lute, the murmur of voices in a language both ancient and familiar. Time slows, and you feel at peace, immersed in the glow of the medieval castle. When you rise again, you notice a narrow staircase spiraling upward into a tall tower. It beckons you quietly. In the next chapter, you will climb to the tower's heights, look beyond the walls and see the vast medieval world stretching endlessly under the stars. You place your hand on the cool stone of the spiral staircase. The torches flicker as you climb, each step carrying you higher into the heart of the tower. The air grows quieter, filled only with the faint echo of your footsteps and the whisper of the wind seeping through narrow windows. Finally, you reach the top. A heavy wooden door opens slowly, and the world expands before you. You step out onto the battlements, and the view takes your breath away. The castle stretches below, courtyards alive with firelight, guards patrolling the walls, and beyond them the village glowing faintly in the night. But it is the sky that captures you. Above, the stars shine brighter than you have ever seen, scattered across the heavens like countless lanterns. Without the lights of cities, the night is pure, deep, and endless. The Milky Way arcs overhead, a shimmering river of light guiding your thoughts beyond time itself. You lean against the cold stone wall, watching the torches flicker along the distant roads. You hear the faint howl of a wolf carried from the forest, the soft rustle of leaves, the creak of wooden carts far below. Every sound is timeless, a melody of the Middle Ages playing softly in the night. Looking to the east, you see fields stretching endlessly, dark waves of farmland ready for morning's light. To the west, thick forests rise like a wall of shadows, mysterious and untamed. Somewhere within them lie hunting lodges, hermits' huts, and perhaps forgotten ruins of earlier kingdoms. The world feels vast, filled with stories waiting to be discovered. On the battlements, a guard stands silently, gazing at the stars just as you do. His armor glints in the moonlight, and his spear rests by his side. You sense his quiet duty, his loyalty to the castle and its people. Though he does not notice you, you feel connected to his timeless vigil, as if you share in his watch over the medieval night. You close your eyes, letting the cool breeze wash over you, carrying with it the scent of pine wood, smoke, and distant fields. Here, high above the world, you feel weightless, calm, and safe. The tower becomes a sanctuary, a place where the boundaries between earth and sky, history and dream, gently dissolve. And then, in the distance, you hear the faint echo of drums, slow, steady, calling from beyond the castle walls. They are not threatening, but ceremonial, as if announcing an event or celebration to come. The sound grows softer, blending into the rhythm of your breathing, promising adventure. In the next chapter, you will follow those sounds into the heart of a medieval market at dawn, filled with merchants, colors, aromas, and the lively spirit of daily life in the Middle Ages. As night fades, the first light of dawn touches the castle walls. You descend from the tower, the spiral staircase glowing softly with the golden rays of morning. When you step outside, the air is fresh and cool, carrying with it the scent of dew and wood smoke. The village below is stirring, and you follow the winding road into its heart. The market square awakens like a living tapestry. Merchants roll out their wooden carts and set up stalls beneath colorful awnings. The sound of creaking wheels and clattering crates fills the air, joined by the chatter of voices greeting the day. The smell of baking bread drifts from a small stone oven, mingling with the rich aroma of spices carried from faraway lands. You wander slowly among the stalls. A farmer displays baskets of apples and pears, their skins glistening in the morning sun. Nearby, A woman arranges bundles of herbs, sage, rosemary, and lavender, each releasing a calming fragrance as she works. A baker sells warm loaves of rye and barley bread, their crusts still crackling from the oven. The market is alive with color. Brightly woven fabrics hang from poles, catching the light in shades of red, green, and gold. A blacksmith sharpens blades and horseshoes, his hammer striking with steady rhythm. Children dart between the stalls, laughing as they chase each other, while a shepherd sells wool from his flock, soft tufts piled high in woven baskets. In one corner, a traveling merchant shows rare goods, glass beads that sparkle like captured sunlight, small vials of perfumed oil, and coins from distant kingdoms stamped with unfamiliar symbols. His stories of faraway deserts and stormy seas seem to weave magic into the air, carrying your imagination across borders you have never seen. The sound of music begins. A minstrel strums a lute, his song gentle and cheerful, perfectly blending with the hum of the crowd. People pause to listen, their faces softening as the melody drifts like morning mist across the square. You pause near a fountain at the center of the market, its stone worn smooth from centuries of use. Villagers fill clay jugs with fresh water, their voices rising and falling in harmony with the flowing stream. For a moment, you sit quietly on the fountain's edge, feeling the warmth of the sun as it climbs higher into the sky. Here, in the morning bustle of the medieval market, you feel both peaceful and alive. Every detail, the scents, the sounds, the colors, wraps around you like a gentle blanket of history. But as the market grows livelier, you hear a distant horn from the direction of the castle. Its call is low, resonant, and commanding. Something important is about to happen. In the next chapter, you will discover the world of knights, armored warriors preparing for a tournament that will bring the entire village together in a celebration of courage and honor. The sound of the horn guides you back toward the castle. The village streets are alive with excitement, families walking together, children running ahead, their laughter ringing out as they make their way to the fields beyond the walls. You follow the crowd until you reach a wide meadow, transformed into the stage for a great tournament. Wooden stands rise along the edges, filled with villagers, merchants, and nobles. Bright banners ripple in the breeze, each bearing the colors and crests of different knights. Red lions, golden eagles, silver crosses, symbols of pride and legacy, stretch across the field like a living pageant of history. You take your place among the spectators as the knights prepare. They stand tall in shining armor, their visors lifted to reveal faces both young and weathered. Squires hurry about, fastening straps, adjusting shields, and leading powerful horses draped in flowing cloth of matching colors. The smell of leather, iron, and fresh hay fills the air. A drumbeat begins, slow and steady, echoing across the field. Trumpets follow, their notes sharp and bright. The crowd cheers as the knights mount their horses and line up for the joust. The energy is electric, yet noble. This is not just a contest of strength, but of honor and tradition. The first two riders lower their lances. Time seems to slow as the drumbeat quickens. Then, with a thunder of hooves, they charge across the field. The sound shakes the ground beneath you. Wood splinters as lances strike, and the crowd erupts in applause. Both knights raise their hands in salute, their respect for each other shining brighter than victory. Between matches, other contests unfold. Archers step forward, their long bows bending gracefully as arrows whistle through the air, striking painted targets with precision. Sword fighters duel with swift movements, the clash of steel ringing like music. Each display is greeted with cheers, laughter, and admiration. You notice the noble families watching from a decorated balcony. Ladies in embroidered gowns wave silken ribbons, while lords nod proudly as their champions ride forward. The entire village has gathered here, not divided by class or rank, but united in the joy of the tournament. As the day wears on, sunlight glimmers on polished armor, and the air buzzes with celebration. The crowd sings along with the minstrels, children imitate knights with wooden sticks, and food stalls offer roasted meats, honey cakes, and spiced cider to the festival goers. The tournament is more than a contest. It is a living heartbeat of the Middle Ages, a memory woven into time itself. You feel the honor, the unity, and the beauty of this moment, as though you've been truly transported to the heart of history. As evening approaches, torches are lit around the field, their flames dancing in the twilight. The last joust ends with thunderous applause, and the crowd begins to drift back toward the village, filled with stories to tell and songs to sing. In the next chapter, you will leave the noise of the tournament behind and step into the quiet of a medieval monastery, where monks live in silence, study by candlelight, and preserve the wisdom of the ages. After the cheer of the tournament fades, you follow a quiet road leading away from the village. The path winds through rolling hills and fields of golden wheat until in the distance you see the outline of a monastery. Its stone walls rise peacefully against the setting sun, surrounded by orchards and gardens. A gentle bell tolls, calling the monks to prayer. You step inside through a small wooden gate. The air is hushed, filled with the faint fragrance of herbs from the gardens. Monks in simple brown robes move quietly, their heads bowed, their footsteps soft on the stone paths. They live in silence, their lives dedicated to prayer, study, and the preservation of knowledge. You walk slowly through the cloister, a square courtyard surrounded by arched walkways. In the center grows a simple garden. Lavender, sage, and roses bloom among neatly tended beds, while a small fountain trickles gently, its sound echoing like a lullaby. You pause, breathing in the peace of this sacred place, letting the stillness calm your mind. One of the monks leads you to the scriptorium. Inside, the room glows with warm candlelight. Rows of desks line the walls, each with parchment, ink, and carefully crafted quills. Monks bend over their work, copying manuscripts with delicate strokes. Their hands are steady, their movements almost like prayer. Illuminated letters, painted in red, blue, and gold, shine from the pages like tiny jewels. Here, wisdom is not only preserved, but transformed into art. In another chamber, shelves of manuscripts stretch along the walls, works of philosophy, medicine, astronomy, and scripture. Each book carries the voice of centuries, safeguarded in the silence of the monastery. You feel as though you are walking through the very memory of humanity, guarded by those who dedicate their lives to knowledge. As you leave the library, the evening bells ring again. The monks gather in the chapel, their voices rising in soft, melodic chant. The sound fills the air like flowing water, pure, timeless, and deeply soothing. You sit quietly at the back, letting the chant wash over you, each note guiding you deeper into calmness. When you step outside once more, the night sky has returned. Stars glitter above the monastery walls, and the gardens glow softly in the moonlight. A path stretches onward, leading into the forest beyond, dark and mysterious. In the next chapter, you will follow that path into the medieval woods where hunters, travelers, and hidden secrets wait beneath the ancient trees. You leave the monastery's stone walls behind and follow a narrow path that winds into the forest. The air grows cooler, rich with the scent of pine, oak, and damp earth. Moonlight filters gently through the canopy, painting silver patterns across the ground. Each step takes you deeper, as if the forest itself is welcoming you into its timeless embrace. The trees are tall and ancient, their trunks thick and gnarled, roots weaving across the path like veins of the earth. Somewhere in the distance, an owl hoots softly, its call echoing through the stillness. You hear the faint rustle of animals moving in the undergrowth. Foxes, deer, perhaps even the wild boar that roam these woods. You come upon a clearing where a small campfire burns. A group of travelers sits around it. Hunters, their bows resting nearby, their cloaks lined with fur. They speak quietly, sharing bread, cheese, and dried meat, their voices carrying stories of the day's journey. One notices you and nods in greeting, as though you've always belonged to their company. You sit for a moment, warmed by the fire, listening to their tales of wolves, lost ruins, and hidden treasures said to be buried deep in the forest. When the fire fades, you continue onward, The forest grows darker, but the path ahead glows faintly with patches of moonlight. You pass a small wooden shrine built into the roots of an oak tree. Candles flicker inside, offerings of flowers and coins resting at its base. It feels sacred, a reminder of the ancient beliefs that still live quietly alongside the new faith of the monastery. Further along, you hear the trickle of water. Soon you find a brook flowing gently between moss-covered stones. The water is so clear that it sparkles in the moonlight like liquid silver. You kneel to touch it, and its coolness spreads calm through your entire body, as though the forest itself is offering you rest. You rise and continue, feeling the woods around you alive with secrets. Every shadow seems to hold a story, every rustle a memory of ages past. Yet there is no fear, only wonder. The forest is vast, mysterious, but also protective, a place where nature's magic thrives. As you reach the edge of the woods, you see the flickering lights of another settlement in the distance. The sound of music and laughter drifts faintly on the night air. A village festival is beginning. In the next chapter, you will step into that celebration, where torches burn bright, music fills the air, and the medieval night comes alive with joy. As you leave the shadow of the forest, the sound of music grows louder. Flutes, drums, and the bright strum of lutes weaving together in a joyful rhythm. You step into the glow of countless torches, and before you lies a village alive with celebration. It is a festival night, when work is forgotten and the entire community gathers under the stars. The square is filled with laughter and voices. Bright ribbons and garlands hang between wooden beams, swaying gently in the evening breeze. Long tables are covered with food, roasted meats sizzling on spits, loaves of bread piled high, bowls of fresh berries, and honey cakes glistening with sweetness. The air is thick with delicious aromas, carrying warmth and comfort. Children chase one another, their faces painted with simple patterns of flowers and animals. Jugglers toss wooden clubs in graceful arcs, while a fire breather amazes the crowd with glowing bursts of flame that light up the night sky. Everywhere you look, life is vibrant, full of movement and joy. In the center of the square, dancers form a circle, their hands joined, their steps weaving a pattern passed down through generations. The rhythm is steady, the music rising and falling like waves. You feel yourself drawn to join them, stepping lightly in time with the beat. The earth beneath your feet seems to pulse with life, connecting you to the festival, to the village, to the entire spirit of the Middle Ages. Nearby, storytellers recite old legends. Their voices carry tales of kings and dragons, of saints and miracles, of journeys into distant lands. Villagers listen with wide eyes, their imaginations alive with wonder. You realize that these stories are not only entertainment, they are the threads that bind the past to the present, keeping memory alive. As the night deepens, the music grows softer, more soothing. Families gather around smaller fires, sharing quiet songs. The torches flicker, the stars above burn brightly, and for a moment, time feels suspended. You sit among them, wrapped in the warmth of community, your heart calm and full. From the edge of the square, you see a group preparing to leave at dawn. Merchants with carts and horses, ready for a long journey on the medieval roads. Their lanterns glow faintly, and you sense that your dream voyage is leading you to join them. In the next chapter, you will travel with these merchants, discovering the life of medieval trade, the challenges of the road, and the wonders carried from distant lands. As dawn breaks, you follow the merchants out of the village, the path winding through fields kissed by morning light. Horses and oxen carry heavy loads, barrels of wine, sacks of grain, bolts of colorful cloth, and small treasures from distant lands. The smell of hay, leather, and spices drifts in the air, mingling with the fresh scent of the road. The caravan moves steadily, wheels creaking on the dirt path, hooves thudding softly in rhythm. Merchants greet one another, sharing news and laughter. Children of traveling families run alongside, chasing small wooden carts, their joyful voices carrying across the meadows. You feel a sense of adventure, the quiet excitement of life on the road, where every mile brings new sights and stories. You pass rolling hills and forests, streams sparkling under the sun. Occasionally, a small village appears on the horizon, with thatched roof houses and smoke curling from chimneys. Travelers nod politely as you pass, some selling fresh bread or fruit along the roadside. Life is simple but vibrant, woven into the landscape itself. Around midday, the caravan stops for a brief rest. Horses graze on the grass, merchants share bread and cheese, and you sit under the shade of an old oak listening to their stories. They speak of faraway towns, bustling markets and exotic goods, spices from the east, silks from distant kingdoms, and rare stones that catch the sunlight like captured stars. The road winds higher into hills, and you catch glimpses of rivers glittering below, forests stretching endlessly, and distant castles standing guard over the land. The journey is long, but each step is filled with discovery. You feel the rhythm of the road, the gentle sway of carts, the murmurs of conversation, the soft clop of hooves, as a calming, almost meditative beat. As evening approaches, the caravan makes camp near a quiet stream. Fires are lit, cooking pots bubble, and the smell of roasted meat and herbs fills the air. Merchants tell stories around the fire, the flames dancing across their faces. You lie back on a soft blanket of grass, gazing up at the stars. The sky feels vast, timeless, and full of wonder, just like the Middle Ages themselves. In the next chapter, you will reach a distant city at sunset, exploring its streets, towers, and bustling harbor, a place full of trade, culture, and the heartbeat of medieval life. As the sun begins to dip behind the hills, you arrive at the gates of a bustling medieval city. Stone walls rise high, guarded by watchful sentries, while the streets beyond are alive with activity. Merchants unload their carts, children chase one another, and the sound of bells tolls from distant towers. The city is a living, breathing world, a place where trade, craft, and culture converge. You wander through narrow cobblestone streets, lined with timber-framed houses and shops. The aroma of freshly baked bread mingles with the scent of herbs and roasting meat. Blacksmiths hammer glowing iron, the sparks flying like tiny fireflies in the twilight. Artisans carve wood and shape clay, their work reflecting centuries of tradition and skill. In the central square, a fountain glimmers in the fading light. Villagers and travelers pause to drink and rest, exchanging news and stories. Minstrels play soft tunes on lutes and flutes, filling the streets with gentle music. You walk among them, feeling the warmth of the community, the rhythm of life, and the quiet beauty of the city at dusk. As the sky darkens, lanterns are lit along the streets, casting golden pools of light. Shadows dance on the walls, and the air grows cooler. You find a quiet spot near the city gates, looking out at the distant hills where your journey began. The sounds of the city blend with the whispers of the wind, carrying tales of villages, castles, forests, and markets. Memories of the entire medieval world you've explored. You take a deep breath, feeling the calm and satisfaction of a journey well traveled. Every sight, sound, and story has gently guided you, easing your mind and spirit. The medieval world, with its castles, markets, forests, and cities, has welcomed you. And now it begins to fade softly as your dream carries you toward restful sleep. Finally, the streets grow quiet, the last lanterns flicker, and the city itself seems to rest. You close your eyes, wrapped in the peace and magic of the Middle Ages, letting the gentle rhythm of your dream guide you into a deep, tranquil sleep.